Hello,
Blog
good
Talk
day.
Radio.
Good day. Today is Monday, May 26, 2014. Happy holidays to those who have loved ones that have and serve in the military. It is ideal to ensure our safety if others are kept, but more so understanding our international rights and knowing the work of the United Nations and immigration laws communicate. Boon, B-O-O-N, blessings. My name is Irene Ratliff with Street Meat Company. Street Meat Company is a nonprofit organization seeking good persons, such as the listening audience, to help ameliorate goals that can improve our community. We are currently serving the Atlanta, Georgia area from downtown, West End, Utoy Creek, East Point, and Greenbrier. We are also willing to schedule meetings at most DeKalb, Fulton, Atlanta county libraries. We want to meet our listeners and communicate how they can also participate the committees that are efforts of Street Meat Company. There are many forms of communication, and Street Meat Company goal is to be cordial and understanding the manners of our being. There are so many things to do, and we value your support. We encourage our listeners to get involved with local associations, neighborhood club associations, know your politicians, join your libraries, read and research more often. Locate the local law library and build street-level laws pertaining citizens in your area. Join the Park and Recreation Department. There are so many things to be involved and have the know-how. Street Meat Company derives from the intellectual point and communicates from Atlanta, neighboring counties more than 10 years ago. Recently, we comply and register Street Meat Company as a nonprofit organization. Street Meat Company currently seeks fiscal sponsors and would like to establish board of directors and members. We also seek volunteers to do business and law research. Our website is www, the meaning is word, work, witness, www.streetmeat.biz, B-I-Z, and our connection is meetup.com, www.meetup.com/street-meat. In the name, the true question is, what is the content of the character, our material, as it is said? What are the ingredients? What is the work? The integers are we, pessimistic, optimistic, worthy. What is mean, and what does the meaning of mean is? Street Meat Company currently houses 4 committees and would like for persons to involve in goodness and collaborate to help manifest creative thoughts of innovation with street meat potential. Street Meat Company 4 executive committees: Naguzo Saba, 3WD, True Amelioration, Kite Society, and Tulips for women only. For people who are interested in calling in the show today, guests are able to call 646-564-9776. Excited and enthused to speak with anyone who has an interest to learn more about Street Meat. If you have any questions, please call us. Our call-in number is 646-564-9776. Street Meat goal is, the Street Meat Company is actually in relation with Street Meat The Point. So when you go on the Blog Talk Radio, it is Street Meat The Point. And we're doing it every day. The next meeting is tomorrow, which is May 27, 2014 at 11:30 p.m. We're hoping that our avid listeners will come in and just listen to what the daily program or the agenda is each day. I'm like, wow, hey, I'm like, you have to have some kind of format of what each conversation will be. But today we're collaborating and advocating what Street Meat Company's agenda is, what its goals are, and what are the committees. Nguzo Saba, thank you again. If you're interested in calling, let me repeat the number. The number is 646-564-9776 for our guest callers. Thank you. Nguzo Saba means 7 principles associate Kwanzaa. The 7 principles are unity, self-determination, collective work and responsibility, cooperative economics, purpose, creativity, and faith. Street Meat Company values the formation of Nguzo Saba, and we associate healthy foods such as vegetables, fruit, and advocate exercising up to 14 hours a week, being under and over and understanding the mediation through yoga and Pilates. We are a work in progress. Blessings. 3WD, True Amelioration, goal is to create employment through innovation, being creative, understanding that job opportunities and service positions are there. But when we're able to work together and build community wealth, then that's what we would like to establish, building community wealth. The goal is to create community wealth through ecosystems. There's many things that connect. We have one area here that's dealing with economics and part of the ecosystem. So when you look at a particular thing that needs to be developed, I mean, one person can go about, let's say, hey, we're going to open up a small mom and pop shop. But guess what? Even if we decided that we want to open up let's say a convenience store or tienda, okay, you have to go and you have to find a space and you have to make sure that the location is okay, the marketing is all right for the location. Then you probably have to decide on what materials or what products you want to actually sell within the tienda or the small convenience store. And from that point, that's okay. That's self. You can do that all by yourself. That's not an issue. What is good and what is taught at that point is how the people are able to do some logistics, if they're getting their products on time, if they're what products the community likes. Here it is, what avenue is here and there, and how we can, build on that. Well, that's fine too. But what I think that is necessary is that we focus on small businesses. There are so many small businesses out there that are looking for people to support their businesses, and what we need to do is we need to locate some of the small businesses that focuses on manufacturing jobs, okay, manufacturing products, and how can we actually, filter what that is within a community where you see that the GDP, which is the GDP under the CIA.gov, and create avenues and relationships with developing countries. What products do they have and what they're selling? Well, the thing is that when we look at 3WD, True Amelioration, we are seeking people who have maybe collegiate education, maybe they have certain talents in terms of being able to create. Maybe they need other people that can help them. We do have the SBA, which is the Small Business Administration through the government. There's also a lot of hub places like Opportunity Hub and Atlanta Tech that are out there looking for entrepreneurs. I'm not really sure if they're on the manufacturing end of it, so we do have and see Shark Tank. But when we look at Shark Tank, a lot of this stuff is already done. They're probably looking for people to kind of support their products. And what they do is they, buy into the idea. I'm not really sure if they participate much in the marketing. I'm not really sure. But the thing is that when we look at what Street Meat 3WD, True Amelioration is is that there's already ideas that need to be worked. And so there are some ideas that we need to manifest. We have the automotive idea. The automotive idea is that there's a make and a model, okay? There's an idea, and of course that can be communicated when we're communicating community economics, okay? Being able to get other people who may not have a collegiate degree, but they may be creative, or they may have the talent, or have some understanding. Back in the day, I don't know, people used to get those automotive books, and not the Auto Trader, but the automotive books, and they would really have an interest, not just on the make or the model, but what makes the vehicle, the engine. And so I'm like, wow, you know, there was conversation about shale gas. And I don't know if there's a really big talking point, but one of the things is that we have oil reserves. So when you go through Texas, certain areas in Texas on the West Coast, you'll see where they're doing a lot of pumping of oil. Well, maybe because of the extraction of the oil, there's been a large reserve of shale gas. Is it possible that we can find persons out there who are able to create and develop and innovate the state-of-the-art engine, something different than, here it is, the 6 or the 8 okay? So maybe we can do the 3W power engine. This right here, and maybe here it is, they're able to house the make and the model of what we will call the car as the vehicle as the signature blessing. In any case, that will be determined to, here it is, the collaboration of this person and that company, that talent, and those goals here and there. Also, we also have the building materials idea, which how can we, in terms of building materials, we do have the housing market. And the housing market, when we look at it, there's building materials. We have an array of building materials. But what material is actually being built to deter termites? So if we look at that, how do we deter termites? What kind of material can we use in terms of building materials? Apps design, telecommunication, three-way, business consulting, customer service, and telecommunications. We need to be able to, there's something there. We also have packaging idea. There's an irrigation idea. Right now, to tell you the truth, we should be building wells. A lot of these yards, when we look at here it is the scope of our builders building on our communities, there should be a local reserve in terms of water conservation. When we look at water conservation and building wells on particular lots, what does building wells mean? Well, when we look at here it is history, if we look at the IAEA, there's the Nubian sandstone, and years ago, there was this creativity built in terms of the sandstone, where they have fossil water, at least they used to, and this water was called ancient water. Well, the thing is that when we look at certain areas, there's a large reserve here and there, but how do we build that? I think also that the state of Georgia, we have a lot of fresh water, the rain that comes down. We need to consider possibly participating in building water, water conservation or reservations, possibly consider building a dam somewhere near with, a man-made water park or something or the other. But Georgia, state of Georgia, has the capacity to do that. We have a lot more water reserves than they do in other parts of the United States, and that's good when we are able to receive the rain that we do receive. How do we utilize sewer water? There was research in India, and what it was is that they were using the sewer water for cultivation. And when you look at it, they will use some of we also do the same thing in terms of manure, okay? So we have cow manure, and so this manure, we'll use it, and we'll graze the farmland with manure, okay? and the aesthetic of the manure can be a little tough. But what about human sewer waste? And so what's interesting, maybe about a year or two ago, they had did this innovation in Africa. There were 3 young ladies in Africa that had created, what was this, I guess the hydraulics. When you look at the generator, a generator hydraulic in terms of light. Okay, so when you look at the generator actually beams up light. And anyway, these 3 young girls from Africa, they had created a generator used from urine. Yeah, can you believe that? Urine. So they was like, wow, here it is. Can you imagine being able to generate your whole entire house just on your urine? So yes, I guess it matters what you eat and you drink and how those waste materials are benefit. I was like, wow, for real. So here it is. If you think about how often we get TT, and put it, I don't know how they would actually structure that. But whoever is out there and they're working with those young ladies, yes, we are looking for that innovation, especially for areas that are underdeveloped in certain countries where here it is. There's means to try to consider. Your urine generates power to power your house. Blessings. Then there's the asphalt idea. Then we also have a recycled materials idea. Well, actually, it's not really an idea. It's really a format that can actually produce money available to not just to the person who's collecting the materials, but those recyclable materials, they're reusable. We should take part and, or initiate or participate like it really means something about these recyclable materials. All the products that we use, we're able to use them. And I have my niece, she had asked me, she said, Miss Irene, I really like the cell phones. Any of your extra cell phones, if you don't want them, hey, I want you to let me have your phone. And I said, well, if I'm going to give you the phone, what does it mean? And she said, huh. She was like, I don't know. I said, well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy you a little small screwdriver, and I want you to take the phone apart, and I want you to look at all those little itty-bitty things as data. The smallest thing can actually have so much gigabytes, and yet that right there deals with computer software. So just because you see the phone, that thing functions. Their intelligence, or as I would call the kite, intelligence, talent, and education, that is there in terms of how did they make that phone, and you can learn that. Take the parts of piece and understand what that is. Anyway, there's also electronics, and then aviation. Do you remember the Jetsons? We are already on a small scale be in the air, okay? I tell you the God honest truth. The average person, when you look at height, when you look at airplane level, they have to go into a certain altitude. But when we're looking at low altitude, in terms of aviation, consider the Jetsons, okay? The ideas are few, but the startups can manifest employment. Learn more of StreetMe's agenda on www.streetmeet.biz and our connecting partner, www.meetup.com/street-meet. Kite Society, knowledge, intelligence, talents, and education. StreetMeet Company would like to work with persons that can help build paths to reinforce our comprehension of what is our inalienable liberty. Some organizations require persons to be a member or pay member fees to seek service. Thanks to American Civil Liberties Union, What other organization is assisting some of the caseloads they receive? Street Meet assumed cases should not be put into a category of class action lawsuits. Each individual situation have discerning details of what's the perception per case. Realize what is human, civil, constitutional rights, liberty, and law. What is your local law library? Or where is it, rather? Where's your local law library? People should know that. Where is your local law library? Regular libraries may not have the research materials. Yes, we do need to build resources and security for vulnerable situations. And what is separation of church and state, police and citizens? We are on Need to Know. We can build legal citizen counsel without being a lawyer or attorney. There are a lot of people who represent themselves, and it will be even more empowering knowing that there's other people there to support that movement, or whether there's other people who we can link to that are lawyers that are looking for Street Meet Company. Blessings. Citizen representation, we can build it, know it. And a recent add-on, even though it was a thought, tulips for women, a spontaneous, adventurous, beautiful representation and the opportunity for women to build relations among us is vital. The venue, the treat, the kept. Tulips. Thank you for joining Street Meet's listening audience and hope to have your support. We accept donations, crowdfunding, support, and your participation. Everyone is valuable, and your participation to help yourself, family, community, local, state, region, federal, and global community relies on the many people that contribute to it being an effective structure. Thanks again. Please visit www.streetmeet.biz and our Connect partner, www.meetup.com/meet. Thank you for listening, and have a good day. See you tomorrow, same time, 11:30 p.m. on blogtalkradio.com Street Meet.